one more time. One final race. The 10th season of Thursday Night Thunder is about to come to a close. We've already got a champion, and the party is going to get started. It's going to be a fun celebration of the whole season of racing from January until May, and the green flag is out. Rick James with Ryan Pennell, and already some heavy contact in this race. Ryan, welcome to your home track. Welcome to the Season 10 season finale.
Yeah, great to be back home here in Atlanta, and it's going to be a great race. I know it. This track's so much fun with these cars. Definitely a little bit of action right there on the start, but everybody kept it clean, and we're still racing.
3 wide already on the old configuration, which you love. I think everybody in this roster, in this series, and I think a lot of fans do prefer the older configuration at Atlanta, if you will. What are your feelings on it? Do you like the new track? Do you like the old track?
Well, I mean, me personally, I do like the new track because it does kind of give everybody a shot to win. But the old track is just so iconic. I mean, it's a classic. So you can really rip the top. You'll see that all night tonight. Drivers just running that top line, getting so much momentum. So it's always cool to see that, you know, just a track where you can run both the bottom and the top and have the same speed.
Well, you mentioned an icon, you mentioned a classic. How about Noah Belleville in that iconic number 41 target machine? Technically, well, I was going to say technically the defending champion, but he's not the champion anymore. The defending champion is now the current champion, Jacob Bradley, in the number 50 Lowe's machine. But Moldy, as we love to call him, Ryan, Moldy is back for an appearance, and he's already off to a quick start. And he's in the wall. So, curse of the commentator. Jacob Bradley also went purple, so now the new champion is coming around the corner. Moldy, that Season 9 champion, and I think, Ryan, you and I got really bored at the end of Season 9 because he ended up winning, 11 races that season? Something ludicrous.
Yeah, that was back when I was still racing, and yeah, it was definitely the Noah Belleville show. Seemed like week in and week out. He's very, very fast, very talented race car driver, and I'm kind of looking forward to the battle between the 41 and the 50 tonight. You know, those two are they're gonna be there at the end.
I'm surprised that it's really single file. I think in practice a lot of these guys were getting really, not desperate, but certainly cagey with the way they were approaching the racetrack. But of course, it's hot, it's slippery. This is not an easy racetrack to navigate. Unlike the new configuration, which, correct me if I'm wrong, now has steeper banking so you can hold it full throttle the whole way through. Is it steeper banking?
Yeah, it is. It's also progressive banking, so the top line has a different angle or different banking than the bottom. So yeah, they pretty much changed this entire track. So yeah, it's pretty much full throttle around here with the new configuration. That's what makes this one so special. It's just so much. You got to really play with the throttle and to keep yourself to have that momentum, but not to get into the wall like we saw Noah do a little bit earlier.
Aaron Edwards running third in the running order for the moment. He's got that reflective Chuck Sweeting 5.7 behind him. Chucky looking cool in his chrome. Noah Belleville still at the front. Drivers still paired together early on. How about Briley Wright, Seth Wansing side by side? Kevin Feemster wants to throw it in the mix. 3 wide down the front, Ryan.
Yeah, Feemster's he's a very aggressive driver. He doesn't like to wait. I mean, if he sees an opportunity, he sees an opening, he's going to take it. And you see it there. I mean, he's still trying to make his way around Toby right now.
Dylan Brewer's in the house. Shout out to him. Shout out to Tanner Lockhart as well, who's cheering for Matt Seeger at his home track. Let's go on board with the number 17 of Kevin Feemster. Ryan Kevin now trying to split the difference between Seth Wansing in the 9, Briley Wright in the 29. We're going to switch to Toby Estes. And when you're in this sort of position, there's really... Look at this. The 29 of Briley Wright's in the wall, and now Kevin Feemster will get around him. Well, he just can't make it stick. Feemster can't go anywhere. He's trapped. It's almost like being trapped in rush hour traffic.
Yeah, when you're on the bottom like that, I mean, Feemster definitely has some speed down there, but just looks like Seth maybe a little, maybe saving his tires, saving fuel. You know, we talked pre-race about the fuel load. Kind of got some mixed reviews. Maybe what were they saying? What were they telling you? Like 30 to 35, somewhere in that range. So could be some saving going on as well.
So the drip diecasts and collectibles track facts will tell you it's 30 to 35 30 to 45 if they can stretch, but I think that's I'd say an egregious overestimation based on driver feedback. They're saying about 32 laps. So now I'm really curious. Looking at this track here, the sun looks like it just goes behind some clouds here, and we're going to have plenty of sunlight to make it to the end of this race. That is a given. But, Ryan, how much of a difference is the sun going to make when it comes to how slippery the racetrack is?
Well, that's one really cool thing about iRacing is they do have live track temp. So if you see it like you see on stream now, where the sun is not out, obviously still daylight, but you know the sun's not shining on the track, that track temp does go down. So you know what may be started as a 112 degree track temp could drop, you know, 5 or 6 degrees, and this really helps with grip. Your car will drive a little bit better, and but then once that sun comes back out, it's going to get slick out there again.
13 laps into our 120 lap season finale, the 17 and the 24. Kevin Feemster to the inside of the DuPont Chevrolet, being piloted by Richie Catania and Tommy Withers in one of my favorite paint schemes, pulling out the Winn-Dixie Special, the Virginian pilot. Big Mark Martin fan as well, currently running in the 11th position. Ryan, let's talk about a couple of fellas that, well, one fellow we don't hear a lot about. We've got Larry Eberhard in the 96, who was in that awesome Lumberjack sausage machine last week. And then Dale Markowski. When's the last time you saw Dale Markowski race TNT?
Oh, it's been a while. I know he's been trying to come out and race with y'all and race here with TNT, and just had some work obligations, so hadn't been able to really come out and race. So good to see him on track. Looks like he's, you know, just taking it easy here in the early goings. That's the kind of expected out of Dale. You know that he's going to be consistent, and he's going to make sure he's there at the end of this thing.
I'm Dale. Well, there's Dale Markowski, who needs to take it easier. I was going to say I'm on the Dale Markowski strategy. Keep it at the back. Don't hit anything as he hits something coming out of turn number 4. Ryan, these are sturdy race cars, but when you make contact like that at a turn number 4, we see Briley Wright already has damage on the right front corner as well. And a little scratch the car can handle. A light tap against the wall, the car's going to be fine. But really, when you take a look at Briley, you see the damage on the right front corner. That's going to affect him more than help him.
Yeah, 100%. And Briley will be the first one to tell you. I mean, he says it over the radio. When these cars hit the wall, if it's just a light tap, like you said, it's usually not an issue. But here at Atlanta, any kind of front end damage is going to hurt your aero really, really bad. This is a very, very fast racetrack, fast mile and a half. So, yeah, any damage like that, it's gonna cause you to struggle, and I think that's what we're seeing with that 29 car right now.
Colin McDonough to the left-hand side of the Kentucky pilot, and wherever Landon is, he'd be cheering for Briley Wright as well. If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. We are caution-free 17 laps into tonight's Gen 4 festivities. And Ryan, it's also going to be the last time that we drive this particular car. The formula will change. The new Gen 4 car will come out in the off-season.
Yeah, and that's going to be really cool because we'll have different manufacturers available. So obviously some of these paint schemes do have, you know, Ford and Dodge decals on them, but the actual body will be different. So that's really exciting. I've heard the tire model is going to change as well. So pretty cool to see that, and I'll be excited to see him on track.
That's one thing I can appreciate about iRacing is when these new cars come out, we know the tracks very well. We know them like the back of our hand, but it's almost as if the game also changes or just gets another update to it when this new Gen 4 car comes out, because now we have to run all of these tracks for the first time on this new car. We only get up to 16 races per season. We're running 15 this year. We have no idea how many we're going to run in Season 11, but we only get so many opportunities to try out this new car. So looking into the future, TNT is going to have to run out to what, Season 12, 13, 14, before we really can effectively run the whole NASCAR circuit with this new template.
Yeah, and that's what's really cool about TNT through the years, even going back to when we were on the dreaded Heat 5, and then moving to iRacing, we started with what they called ARCA car at the time, and then, they made that mistake of dropping the Gen 4. I think everybody remembers that, and then everyone was like, this car is amazing, like, don't get rid of it. And then the Gen 4 car was kind of born, so, and now they have the real ARCA cars, so it's really cool to see the progression and TNT kind of moving with that progression.
10 seasons strong, and we have no plans on stopping anytime soon. And I'm definitely ready for the off-season. I think a lot of us are. Of course, we have the V8 Supercars coming up in a couple of weeks, A-Rock 5. Stay tuned for that, because we will have the A-Rock 5 trailer possibly during a caution. Definitely after the race, we're going to have that A-Rock 5 trailer, so stay tuned for that. But there's a lot of burnout and it's silly. We're playing a video game. Let's be honest. It's a highly intensive simulator that we all enjoy very, very much, and we've poured a lot into, obviously financially, emotionally, physically, because it is, with that force feedback in the wheel, it is a physically demanding hobby, this iRacing, but you have to love it, and that's what keeps us coming back. But we need a break, man.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we struggle with the same thing with our A Squared series on Sunday nights. We have an even longer schedule than TNT, and especially like a lot of people don't understand what the admins and like you and me broadcasting, what we have to go through on a week-to-week basis. Keeping up with points, setting up lobbies. I mean, there's a lot to it. So yeah, these off seasons are definitely appreciated. For not just drivers, but admins as well.
Very much first world problems. Poor us. We have to keep up with racing, and we get to, play iRacing for a hobby. It's a rough life, man. No, obviously I'm being sarcastic. It's a labor of love, just putting all this together, for our friends to just race every other week, but we love racing. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, and I've just been kind of keeping an eye on. Sorry, I don't want to get back to the racing.
No, but, I've been rambling forever. Tell me about something that matters. What's happening?
I'm just looking at Briley Wright, and you can tell that car is just not handling how he wants it to. He's already fallen back now to 14th. He's got Richie Catania behind him. I feel like that damage when he hit the wall really hurt that car and his aero. You see loose, looked like coming off a 2, so he's struggling in that 29 machine right now.
Trying to put it back together is Briley Wright in that 2.9, doing his best, and he runs in that 14th position behind the Season 4 champion Thomas Andrews. Larry Eberhard has climbed up to 12th. Tommy Withers in 11th, and Colin McDonough holding guard of the back end of the top 10. Back up to some racing. Matt Seeger, Ethan Winters sliding about with Charles Sweeting in the mix. Ryan, the Chrome 57, middle. Winters 10. And the 16 of Matt Seeger on the high side.
Yeah, that was a close call for Seeger. He got really loose off 2, and Rick, this is about the time, 27 laps in, these tires are hurting now. I mean, this is an old track. It's a rough surface. It eats these tires up pretty bad, and Matthew Seeger's struggling and just about lost it in front of Ethan Winters there coming off turn 2.
All eyes on 16, Matt Seeger, the Georgian Matt Seeger, trying to hold on to that race car Tomcat in the house cheering on for Richie Catania. We'll talk about Ricardo. He's currently running in the 15th spot in the DuPont Chevrolet. Winters loose down the front straight. They won't go 3 wide. Chuck Sweeting can't take advantage in that outside lane. Ethan Winters in the 10 sticks to the inside. Matt Seeger barely holding on to the top side. And at the front, Jacob Bradley barely ahead of Aaron Edwards, our pole sitter. And from Missouri, DeSoto, Missouri, to be exact, our Season 10 champion, Noah Belleville, running in third. Shout out Grandma Jeannie as well. Ryan, Toby Estes opens the green flag pit stop cycle. The Oreo Chevrolet is in. Richie Catania in the 2-4 car stays out, and Richie's hunting down Dale Markowski.
Yeah, it seems a little early. I don't know. We'll have to see how that plays out for Toby. I mean, obviously, he's going to have a huge advantage tire-wise. I mean, his lap times are going to be way faster, so he'll make up a lot of time, but we'll see how it plays out.
The North Floridian in the 2-4. Listen to the tires, by the way. You can hear just that faint screech, and Richie's coming in. He's had enough, but you can hear that faint screeching. 2-4 is going to bring it on in, and the DuPont Chevrolet follows the Jimmy Johns and the Goodwrench machines down to a respectable 55 miles an hour. Richie's going to come in for tires and fuel. Race leader remains our newly crowned champion, Jacob Bradley. And he's in. He's in, Ryan. He's in. And the one of Aaron Edwards is also in. New leader is now Noah Belleville, 31 laps into this race.
Yeah, and that, I mean, strategy-wise, now that I look at it, I mean, 30 laps, that means you can make it to 60, you can make it to 90, and then obviously you can make it to the end of the race. So I get that strategy there. You want to at least go 30 laps. That way you can, after this stop, you'll have 2 more if it stays green. And that's why I was a little worried about Toby coming in a lap early, but maybe he knows something we don't know.
About to find out. New leader Matt Seeger, the Georgian, at the front in Georgia. He now sits ahead of Seth Wansing from Peculiar, Missouri. Lockhart asking, what do the points look like for second on back? So let's answer Tanner's question. Matt Seeger comes into this race second, only 8 markers ahead of Aaron Edwards. 513 points is what Aaron Edwards has. So that's second and third, Ryan. Chuck Sweeting is only 2 points behind Aaron Edwards. Seth Wansing in that number 9 car, 1 point behind Sweeting. First through third are the money positions, Ryan, so there is actual dollars at stake by the end of tonight's race.
Yeah, and since Aaron got the pole, he gets that bonus point, so that's huge because then it's only a 7-point difference. But, he's got to close it out, and Matthew Seeger's got to make sure he doesn't make a mistake like he unfortunately made last Thursday night at Chicagoland. So hopefully he can keep it pointed in the right direction, and he's sitting in a good spot. He's just got to finish this race out.
On board with Kentucky pilot Toby Estes, he just went green last time around, 30.87. Aaron Edwards just went green, his personal best, 30.98 seconds on the clock. 0.6 and change, the gap between Aaron Edwards and Jacob Bradley, now breaking out to a gap of 0.8 of a second and counting. He's the champion for a reason. 9 wins coming into this season. Not as much as Noah Belleville got in his 10th season, but Belleville coming into the last race of the season to see Jacob Bradley officially crowned as champion. And you got to give it up to all TNT champions. You have to give it up because it takes a genuine commitment to do this. We've seen our 2-time champion Tom Sears, who's not here tonight. We've seen him miss out on the chance to win a title because he only ran 15 out of 16 races. We mentioned before, this is a simulator. It is as close to the real thing as we're going to get, but hobby or not, this takes a genuine bit of commitment to try and win a championship.
Oh, 100%, especially in TNT. I mean, a lot of our other series have playoffs, A squared, high octane. They all have playoffs where after a certain amount of races, the points reset. Well, that's not how it works here in TNT. There are no points reset. It's, it starts at the beginning and goes to the end. So, absolutely, if you're not committed and you're not here every single Thursday, racing and getting good top 10 finishes, you'll never stand a chance to be there at the end. So, commitment's very key, and consistency also very important here in TNT.
30.778 seconds. Noah Belleville puts in the fastest lap of this race. 4 more drivers went green last time around, including Georgia's Matt Seeger, who comes back onto the racetrack, Ryan, in 7th. 0.8 of a second behind Ethan Winters. Seeger down 2 places from where he started, and his pit attack and exit not as sharp as you would like, and not as sharp as that of his rivals. That being said, we don't have to say it. The speed is there. Without having to describe it, the speed is there, and we'll see Seeger at the end. How about this battle, Ryan? We got action for 10th. Tommy Withers to the inside of Briley Wright.
Yeah, Tommy Withers is always really consistent. He likes to play the fuel strategy. I don't see much of a fuel strategy race here unless we do get a caution at some point. But yeah, going back to Matthew Seeger, obviously he stayed out a little bit longer, so he's got fresher tires. But how about the jump by Toby in that 8 car? He was the first one. You mentioned it. Came down pit road before anyone else. Came out in 4th, but now he's got way older tires, so he's going to be losing time. But if he comes in early again, it might not be a bad strategy for that 8 car. I'd like to see how that works out for him.
One of the Bluegrass Bandits from Greensburg, Kentucky. Briley Wright, the other of those Bluegrass Bandits from Greensburg, Kentucky. Cody Riggs, the other regular Bluegrass Bandit, not in tonight's lineup, also from Greensburg, Kentucky. Aaron Edwards now on the inside of Noah Belleville. This is the battle for the 2nd position as the sun warms and washes over the track in Hampton, Georgia. Noah Belleville on the outside, trying to overtake Aaron Edwards on the inside, and the 41 Target Charger manages to get around the number 1 Logitech Camry. Catania and Markowski back at it. Ryan, 12th, up for grabs.
Yeah, and I knew Dale was going to, he's just, like I said, Dale's just one of those that early on in a race, he's just going to figure out the car, figure out what he needs to do, and then he's just going to get faster as the race goes on, and that's exactly what's happening. Running in 13th, trying to get around Richie, just can't quite do it, but Richie got a little loose there coming out of 4th. This track is definitely slick.
The first ever Thursday Night Thunder winner, and no one will ever take that away from Richie Catania. The 2-4 DuPont Chevrolet doesn't want to, but must make way for the number 33 Jimmy John's Impala, and they will discuss, debate, and deliberate some more over the 12th position. Briley and Colin McDonough going to work, 39 in front of that 2-9. Matt Seeger and Ethan Winters going to work. Ryan, it did not take the Georgian long to get the speed back on.
Yeah, and that's just those couple lap fresher tires. I mean, it really does make a huge difference here at this old configuration. New configuration Atlanta, tires don't really wear as much. It's that brand new pavement, kind of a super speedway type feel, but at this track, even if you have 2 laps different on tires, there's a pretty big speed advantage, and you're seeing that in that 16. So he'll make his way back up there, but still a long way to go to that top spot.
Shout out Tomcat, who's watching for the first time as well, a fan of the 2-4 of Ricardo Catania. She asks, they ask, how many races are in the season? Well, this particular season, we're looking at 15 races. Traditionally, between season 5 to season 10, where we're at now, we've had 16 races in the season. And Ryan, we used to race, when I say around the clock, around the calendar, we would, and you know this, we would go 16 races, take a couple of weeks off. Matt Seeger being held up big time by John Honeybrink. Nowhere for him to go. And
There's
Yeah,
just
talk about it.
bad timing there. I mean, you don't want to. I mean, he almost wrecked the 20, honestly. But I mean, he's frustrated because he's got to make up as much time as he can while he has those fresher tires. And when you have a lap car that's kind of just sitting down on the bottom right in your way, I'm telling you, as a former driver, it gets you fuming under the helmet a little bit.
Seeger still in one piece, 46 laps into this race. Tanner Lockhart asking for lap comparisons between Matt Seeger, the hometown flavor of the week, and Jacob Bradley, the champion. Bradley running 30.80 as his best time. Last time around, Jacob Bradley running 32.31. Last time around, Matt Seeger running 32.45, so about a tenth of a second difference. But Jacob Bradley obviously on another planet. He's 1.7 seconds ahead of our second place battle. Aaron Edwards to the left-hand side for the silver medal slot, Ryan.
Yeah, and these two keep battling each other, and Jacob Bradley's looking in his rearview mirror or his relative black box on iRacing and saying, y'all go right ahead. Race side by side, I'm going to just keep pulling away. So, yeah, this is exactly what the 50 car wants to see, and these two, they got to figure something out, or that 50 car is just going to keep getting smaller and smaller.
100%. Now, let's say that these two decide to get in a straight line. Genuinely, with this being the old configuration, that's not going to do much for you except help the guy behind you. Is there any sort of... Oh, there they go, Ryan. Look at the contact. The one goes to the left-hand side of the 41, and that's a glove save, man, right out of turn number 2. That was disaster avoided.
Yeah, good driving by both drivers, but yeah, it's just a little frustration as we look back at it.
One more look from the sky. That first time around, it almost looked like Aaron Edwards had slid up into the 41. I'm not sure if he got loose or they just lost spatial awareness for a moment there, but luckily they make it through, and they're still side by side, man.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like that. You just can't get away from other drivers, and you just seem to be racing with them all night long. So it's just how it goes sometimes.
Ethan Winters and Matt Seeger in the 10 and 16 respectively, still duking it out. Now it's Larry Eberhard and Richie Catania fighting it for 14th and the 15th position. Bama Tram is in the house. Got to say hi to Mama Vols, one of the big fans of Rick James TV. Anyway, to answer Tomcat's question, because I ramble forever and I never answer anything, we would go 16 races, take a couple of weeks breaks, go another 16 races. Now what we'll do is we'll go from January to May, take the summer off, late August through mid-December, obviously taking holidays off, and then go for that. And that seems to be the format that works. For you, Ryan, and A Squared, because you guys like to follow the Cup schedule, that's a long commitment from February all the way to November.
Yeah, we changed it this year, so I think we changed it last year, but we don't run 36 races anymore. We cut it back to 26 because it was such a commitment. I mean, it was taxing on obviously the admins, but the drivers as well. I mean, every single Sunday pretty much, other than Easter, Mother's Day, July 4th. I mean, we were racing every single Sunday for basically 36 weeks straight. So we cut it back by 10 weeks or 10 races. It really seemed to help. Everyone enjoyed the shorter schedule, so we've kind of stuck to that. But keep in mind, I mean, that's still 10 races more than y'all are doing with TNT. So yeah, it's rough. I mean, it really is. Anything past about 14 or 15, it gets to a point where you're like, man, is this over yet? Like, it does get really tough.
Well, and I think the hardest part of it is, shout out to Emily. Before I get on another tangent, she goes, remember to switch the seconds back. I'm going to blame Tanner Lockhart for that one, and I can because Tanner's my buddy. So Tanner, I blame you wholeheartedly for requesting lap time comparisons, and I didn't put the intervals on there. So shout out Emily Seeger, big fan of the 1.6. she's making sure we're informing the fans of what they need to know. Anyway, Ryan, I lost my train of thought, and I'm sure it wasn't that important. Let's go back to some racing here. We've got the 8 of Toby Estes, the 10 of Ethan Winters, and the 9 of Seth Wansing all grouped up for 6th.
Yeah, and Toby's just really falling back because, again, he came down pit road earlier than everyone else, so he was able to make up a lot of time, but now he's losing that time. So I think you'll probably see him come down pit road probably here in the next, I would say, 3 or 4 laps. Oh, I'm wrong. He's in pit road now.
Toby Estes, he saw you coming, man, and Toby Estes is going to come down on lap 55. Now, Ryan, that's an average of, what, 27 laps. So, looking at an average of 27 to 28 laps, that's well before the Drip Race Facts had estimated, thinking 35 to 45. So, Ryan, I can't do math. So, what's 55 and another 27? 84, 85? No, that's not true. The hell is 55 and 27, Ryan? 75 and 7 more. 82?
Like there, yeah. Sure.
82. There it is. So it's 82, and another 27 is 109, and that leaves you with 11 laps to go. So on this strategy, Briley Wright will be pitting with 11 laps to go. What happened here, Ryan? I'm looking between Aaron Edwards and Noah Belleville. Looks like more contact between the 1 and the 41. I'm not sure if that was netcode, but they had sparked along 1 and 2.
Yeah, it looked like Noah got into the back of Aaron, and that usually doesn't go well with these cars, but they are still just battling each other. And again, the more they battle each other, the further Jacob Bradley is pulling away from these two. And it is frustrating as a driver, especially if you're, if you're Aaron Edwards, you're like, hey, I gotta get to that 50 car, but I mean, it's a race. You can't shake them if you want to get around them. Be faster, and that's just hard to do sometimes.
Having another look there at the 1 and the 41. This is here on lap 57, and it must have been the lap after this, but let's see if we can just find out what happened between them. And Noah Belleville's blinking the lap before this as well. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it, but certainly some sparks were coming out of the 1 and the 41. Let's fast forward here into the first corner, see if we can see anything that happened. Nope, not a thing. That's all right. We may never find out. Toby Estes, Ryan, after that pit stop, goes purple, 30.74 seconds. The track's only getting faster, and Estes is proof.
Yeah, those fresh tires are something else, and he's got to take advantage of them. I mean, you see he just pulls away from Ethan Winters almost like he's running on 4 cylinders out there, and that's just because of those fresh tires. So we'll see how Toby cycles through here once everyone pits, because everyone should be coming down here within the next lap or two, I would think, because they pit on lap 30. So you do the math, lap 60, they should be making their way to pit road here soon, but we'll see what Toby does.
Aaron trying to come in, and he's going to try and shut Noah Belleville out, who goes through the commitment cone. We'll see if there's any sort of penalties assessed. These two have been leaning on each other without making any sort of contact in the last few laps. Check this out again. This is Aaron Edwards trying to come into the pits. Watch this. Going slow, leaving a good gap on the way into the pits. And prior to this, you think that'll be a penalty for the 41?
Oh, yeah. I mean, even if he wasn't speeding, he hit the commitment cone, which is going to be an unsafe pit entrance.
Watch this again, Ryan. This is here on lap number 60. Noah Belleville to the inside of Aaron Edwards. Not the first time they've made contact. You see the 41 just slides right into the 1 car. And we'll keep an eye on them as they exit the pits, but, well...
Yeah, he's still sitting there.
He's there. All right, so that is a penalty to the 41. One more look. This is Aaron Edwards coming into the pits. He and Noah Belleville arguing for the position. Check this out. And Ryan, this is Aaron Edwards trying to slow into the pits, and I don't want to take away from the on-track action. Let's go on board with the one. Watch the hands. Have a listen. Ryan, I'm no driver, but I don't see a lot of guys that turn the wheel right on the way into the pits in turn number 4. Noah Belleville rejoins the race in 16th, 2 laps off the pace. Aaron Edwards just went purple, 30.71. He is in 6th with the race's fastest lap time.
Yeah, that's just one of those deals where, I mean, honestly, you have to come on pit road so hard and so aggressive that you kind of, it does sometimes get loose, so you do kind of jerk the wheel back to the right. I don't want to make it seem like he, was intentionally turning, into Noah, but it's difficult to get on this pit road. It really is. It's a tough pit road entrance.
Toby Estes, who pitted on lap 54, looks poised to take the lead through 3 out of turn number 4. The Oreo Chevrolet comes out of 4. He will cross the line with Richie Catania and Larry Eberhard ahead. And your new leader is Toby Estes in the Oreo Chevrolet. Jacob Bradley is half a second behind him, Ryan.
Yeah, but keep that in mind. I mean, as we get to the end of this thing, because last time Toby came out, I think 3rd on pit exit. Now he's leading this thing. Now Jacob's going to get around him pretty easily because he's got older tires now. But they're also catching some lap traffic. That's going to help Toby out. And if Toby keeps short pitting, if he has enough to not have to make an additional pit stop, Toby might be in a good spot to try and win this thing.
Chucky Sweeting's in a good spot to win a race in tonight, season 11, anytime. This has been the dark horse of the season, Ryan. This has been the man to just surprise everybody and fly under everyone's radar. He just went purple last time around, 30.71. Ethan Winters just took that away from him, 30.68. By my count, Ryan, that's 3 new fastest laps in the last 5 to 10 laps around the track.
Yeah, and I've been keeping an eye on the track temp, Rick, and when we started this race, it was about 97 degrees. We're at 92 degrees right now, track temp, so that's 5 degrees difference from where we started. And, a lot of people think, well, that's not a big deal. I'm telling you, 5-degree track temp is huge, not only for tire wear, but also for tire grip. And you're seeing it out there with all these cars running fastest laps of the race here on fresh tires.
A hotter track means a more slick track, and it means eventually someone's going to spill. 68 laps in, though, knock on wood. Nobody has crashed yet. These two, Matt Seeger in the 16, the Georgian driver, ahead of Ethan Winters by a quarter of a second, now sitting in the 7th spot. Jacob Bradley leading by a modest 4 seconds over Briley Wright, and Aaron Edwards half a second on the way in. Closing now TTV, saying typical Aaron when it comes to those antics against Noah Belleville. And if you just tuned in and you haven't seen what we're talking about, this on lap 61 to enter the pits between Aaron Edwards and Noah Belleville. You be the judge on how defensive Aaron Edwards is driving on the way into the pits, causing Noah Belleville to go through the yellow commitment cone and earning Belleville a penalty. Edwards now moves into 2nd. The Kentucky pilot sits in 3rd. 8th up for grabs, Ryan. Tommy Withers versus Briley Wright.
Yeah, and I think Briley took his fast repair on that first pit stop. You definitely can tell he's got some speed in that 29 car now. I mean, unfortunately, kind of once you get behind the 8 ball here, especially in TNT, it's hard to recover. But he was back there in 14th, 15th at one point with that damage. Now up to 9th, battling here with Withers for 8th. So good rebound for that 29 camp.
"71 laps on the clock of the scheduled 120. We're definitely going through the back 9 now with 50 more laps to go around the racetrack. Larry Eberhard in the number 96, now swapping spots. That's Season 4 champion Thomas Andrews, who's going to move into the 12th position. Tommy Withers, now sitting in 8th. Chuck Sweeting in 4th. Chat, let me know who you've got your eye on. Let me know who you're rooting for. Let me know what your summer is going to consist of. We're not going to be here Thursday. Well, I'm going to be here Thursday nights. When I say we, TNT's not going to be here Thursday nights. The racing will continue, actually. Now that I think about it, Ryan, let me walk that back. We're not going anywhere. Fans, chat, you ain't going anywhere either. Racing's going to keep on going all summer long. In 2 weeks from now, Ryan, you're going to be in one of those V8 supercars around the Daytona Oval.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I mean, this is, this really went back to when we used to do, you did something similar on Heat 5. That's kind of where this was all.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, that's where it was all born. That event didn't go as planned, but every season after that has been just absolutely phenomenal. It's basically, for people that don't know, it's the iRock style racing that they used to do, and I think are bringing back here soon. We do something similar. So we take all of our champions plus a few provisional drivers that maybe don't have champions but have been around and won a bunch of races in ARCs, and we all get out on the same track in those V8 supercars, and we have a lot of fun. And Rick has, I mean, some of the best finishes have been with those V8 supercars. I mean, they're a lot of fun to drive.
We're going to have that trailer for our V8 Supercar Series at the end of this race, so stick around for that, A-Rock 5. The 300th win in ARCS, our little umbrella organization here, that was the A-Rock race. I think John Honeybrink ended up winning that race in Michigan in a photo finish. This is how far back ago it was. For those who know, Terry Gabbard was in that race.
Yeah, that is definitely a long time ago.
It had to have been what? The summer of 2021, because this is the 5th edition. So yeah, it was the summer of 21 where this guy, John Honeybrink, won that 300th race in ARCS. Up to 2025 matters. Tommy Withers and Colin McDonough fighting it out for 8th, Ryan.
Yeah, and Withers, he must have pitted a little bit later. I didn't see the exact lap, but he's got fresher tires, so he's been able to run down Colin McDonough, who, we don't talk a lot about Colin, but he's having a really solid race here tonight. I mean, good race for that 39 car. He's been here pretty much the whole season, and it seems like we don't really talk about him much. So good to see him up there in 8. Maybe he'll get him a top 10 tonight here at Atlanta.
Seth Wansing in the number 9 Pepsi machine on the outside of Matt Seeger. This is 5th place up for grabs. Dale Markowski in the 33 in a similar position, trying to take the 11th spot away from Thomas Andrews. Let's have a look at this. Markowski in the 33. Andrews in the 2.
And this is huge, because this is, if a caution does come out, they're battling for lucky dog. So it's, people think, well, they're a lap down, they shouldn't be racing. Well, there's a lot on the line there. If the 33 can get around the 2 and a caution comes out, hey, he's back on the lead lap.
100%. There's genuinely a lot at stake when it comes to racing each and every position. Right here, this is potential money on the line. Let's bring in the points. They are not live points. They are the points coming into this final. Jacob Bradley has the championship. No one cares. Matt Seeger, Aaron Edwards. That's second place, and money on the line for second. They're separated by 8 points. Seth Wansing is 1 point outside of the top 4. He's 3 points outside of the money spots. This genuinely could mean cold hard cash for these drivers. Every spot matters. Seth Wansing from Peculiar, Missouri, just south of Kansas City, to the inside of Matt Seeger, one of our hometown flavors of the week. Ryan, you are the other hometown flavor of the week. Welcome back home, man. And actually, I think not too long ago, you and I were watching a cup race here.
Yeah, I feel like it was what, last year. We came here to Atlanta and got to watch a cup race, and yeah, that was a blast with all of y'all, and it's always fun to hang out with y'all, especially to go and watch races. But yeah, I think it's cool that we're talking about second through fifth in points, and where are they running on track? Second, third, fourth, and fifth. I mean, you can't make this up. They're up
Are they
there.
really? I didn't even notice
Yeah,
this.
yeah, second, third, fourth, and fifth right now. We're all second, third, fourth, and fifth in points. So there's a reason they're up there, and they're showing it here tonight.
There's a reason they're second, third, fourth, and fifth in points because they're running in these respective positions. But man, that's how it all shakes out, though. To take nothing away from Jacob Bradley, we are no strangers to dominant seasons. Season 10, where Noah Belleville was competing, and as a matter of fact, as I'm seeing it, it looks like Belleville's in the pits right now. I'm not sure if he's just trying a different strategy, but he's been in there for quite a while. Not sure what's going on with him. Hopefully he comes back to finish this race, but Noah Belleville won Season 10 with, 11 wins. Jacob Bradley won this season with 9 wins. It may be 10 by the end of the evening. Aiden Norman won 3 straight championships. Dominance is not a foreign concept. As a matter of fact, it has become the normal concept. What's amazing is, again, like you say, second through fifth, so relatively bunched up fighting for those respective positions. That is out of the ordinary and really exciting in the last race of the season.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's crazy that you can run 16 races and then have, obviously, Jacob Bradley, like you said, just the dominance. I mean, kind of no question. We knew probably 3 or 4 weeks in that Jacob Bradley was going to be hard to beat. But to have second through fifth, and really it would have been second through sixth if Tom Sears was here tonight, all within 5 to 7 points in the last race. That's really cool. I mean, it's something that doesn't happen a lot, and it just shows how consistent all these drivers are, and they're all up there at the end of these things, and it makes the points really cool even after 16 races.
It gives you something worth fighting for, though. I mean, we've been talking about, we do this, it's a labor of love, it's our fun little hobby, but it genuinely does give you something to look for. To have those positions, to have that pin in your hat that says, I finished third in TNT, I finished fourth in TNT, but it's also that instinct. When there's a prize, there's a goal, when there is an opponent to beat, you have to race that person.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think the best I ever did in TNT points was maybe fourth. I don't know. I'd have to fact check that, but I never was able to obviously get a championship. It's just, there's just such competition here in TNT. But now that I'm kind of semi-retired, I enjoy calling the races a lot more than racing them. But yeah, these drivers, they have so much talent. It's just wild to see everyone. I mean, what is it? I feel like almost every other race that we run in TNT is green flag from start to finish. So that's very impressive.
We've been green flag so far, no cautions to speak of, and after 2 pit stop cycles, the drivers for the most part are spread out. They've settled down. Toby Estes, just as I mentioned that, Toby Estes has been on it today, man. Look at that, almost trying to collect some grass on the right side of those tires, making as much room as possible, trying to gain as much speed, and really just be as efficient as possible. He's going to come in on lap 89. He's been coming in, what is this, his 3rd pit stop. So he started with an average of 27. Now he's at an average of about 29 laps, really. So we know Toby can go 30 laps. And that's his goal, Ryan, because conveniently, next time by, it's going to be 31 laps to go. So Toby, excuse me. Toby's out on the racetrack. But Ryan, here's my question. He's pitting on lap 87. Toby has to go 33 laps, further than he's ever gone to get to the end on 3 stops. Do you think it's possible?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I just think he's going to be really slow on the back end. So he's kind of just hoping that a caution comes out here at some point. Maybe because it's going to put him in a really good spot once everyone cycles through. Like I said, he was in the lead by about half a tenth of a second last time when pit cycles, finished cycling through. If he does get a caution, hey, he's in the catbird seat.
You know what? Now that I think about it more, it's actually not. It's actually not a bad strategy at all, because I think Toby is well aware he may not get Jacob Bradley on speed. If this goes green to the end, it's not about, can you beat Jacob Bradley on speed, because Jacob Bradley is going to complete 120 laps quicker than anybody else. That is the object. That's the game at hand. Toby maybe trying to see if he can do this cleverly on fuel, and he's trying to 3-stop this, making his car as light as possible at the end. Crazier things have happened. Much crazier things have happened, let's be honest. Matt Seeger is also in as well. It's an early pit stop for car 16. Race leader Jacob Bradley will do the same. Chuck Sweeting in the 5-7. Is he going to come in? If not, Ryan, he's your new leader.
Yeah, I think he's got to come in here either this time or next
Stays
time.
out.
Yeah, he's staying out, so we'll see how that works out for him. I mean, he's going to be losing some time here, but he will have a little bit fresher tires, so maybe just trying a different strategy at this point.
Have a listen, because I'm not half convinced that he's not saving fuel by putting the clutch in. Ryan, would you put the clutch in at a place like this?
You can here at Atlanta. It's a little tough, but yeah, you can. I mean, I don't see it, but maybe he's just doing it in 1 and 2. I don't know.
You know who is putting the clutch in, Ryan? Toby Estes.
That 50. Oh, yep. So he doesn't have enough fuel.
Toby Estes definitely doesn't have enough fuel, but it's also the same strategy, very famously employed by our own Season 10 champion Jacob Bradley. I don't see him putting the clutch in turn number 3, but obviously it's very early into this new stint, and the Mooresville, Indiana native, with a TNT crown on his head, so far is in the best position to win this race. We'll see how it all shakes out when the cycle finishes. Colin McDonough currently leading this race in the number 39 machine. Jacob Bradley 9 seconds behind him. And Matt Seeger on the inside of Toby Estes. That's going to be for the 6th position. Ryan, we have just 26 more laps left in Season 10.
Yeah, kind of bittersweet, honestly. I've had a blast. This is the first time I think I've been in the broadcast booth with you all season, probably for a long time. So it's been fun with you this year, and hopefully we can do it all over again in August. But I will have a newborn in the household, so we'll see how that goes.
We're gonna have a new Pinnell in the family in Season 11. So here's what. Let me ask you this: will you name your child after the winner of the race? Like, let's say your kid is born the same day that there's a TNT race here in Season 11. I think you should name your kid after that race winner.
That's gonna be a no. We're not. We've already named our little baby girl. Her name is Harper. So
Harper.
Yeah, we're not changing that. Sorry.
That's incredible. That's awesome, man. Congratulations to you, my friend. That's gonna be awesome. So much to look forward to coming up in Season 11. Frozen Toast is in the house, by the way. Ryan, when's the last time you heard from Frozen Toast? Good to see her around, and she's still doing her thing, still leading the way in the NASCAR racing community, so shout out to her. Shout out to anybody that's just tuned in. It is our Season 10 finale. Chucky Sweeting in the 5-7, Ryan, to the left side of Toby Estes. This is 5th place on the line with 24 to go.
Yeah, and Toby's really hurting right now just because he's having to save. We saw earlier he was clutching, and he's losing a lot of time because of that. But he's just looking, hey, let me try and get a top 10 out of this thing. Just get out of here with a top 10. And oh yeah, he's riding the ball as I say that. So maybe he needs to listen to me. Just calm down, Toby.
The sun gleams off of the 57 of Chuck Sweeting and the number 8 of Toby Estes with 23 circuits remaining. At iRacing's Atlanta Motor Speedway, Chucky Sweeting in 5th by 1 second. How about this, Ryan? Check this out. Thomas Andrews, Ricardo Catania, Larry Eberhard, 11th, 12th, and 13th up for play.
Yeah, and they're battling, obviously, you know, they're not the first car a lap down, but every position you can get that's that much closer. Is Richie about lost it coming off turn 4.
Saw that too. He almost ate it, didn't he?
Yeah. Everybody driving these cars as hard as they can right now with only 22 to go.
But I also think there's that pride. You want to put in that impression at the end of the season. I mean, you almost just have to put in that impression at the end of the season. Everybody wants to finish strong. There's that strong element of pride in what you do.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I used to say that, you know, with an A² race or even TNT, if you're not sweating in your rig by the time you're done, you weren't driving hard enough. I mean, it's very demanding physically, mentally. I mean, yeah, we're not in a real race car, but it feels like it, and it's tough.
Thomas Andrews in the number 2 TNT machine. Larry Eberhard in the number 96 Commander's car. Shout out Pro Sports Hub, who's in the chat as well. Shout out Frozen Toes as well. If you don't know about Frozen Toes, I don't know what you're doing here if you don't know about Frozen Toes, but she went ahead and raided with a party of 25. So shout out to that party raid. We appreciate you. Shout out Landon as well. 2-0 to go. Will be 1-9 at the line. The 10th season of Thursday Night Thunder will soon come to a close, and it will be the last race for this particular car. We are getting a formula change in the offseason, and we'll have a new Gen 4 car to speak of for our 11th season of competition coming this August. Wansing in the number 9 behind Matt Seeger. This is 3rd position up for grabs. Ryan, everybody was so spread out between that 2nd and 3rd pit stop, and after that 3rd intermission, here we are in the 4th quarter, and everybody's bunched back up within our top 10.
Yeah, it always seems to work that way. You know, you get closer to the end of the race, and everybody's intensity kind of picks up, and you know, you're not really saving anything anymore. You're going as hard as you can here to the end. So, yeah, everybody's pushing a little bit harder, and everybody gets a little bit closer and closer together. So, hopefully, we can stay out of trouble. You know, we always talk about those late race cautions. I don't see one happening here, but knock on wood, we'll see what happens.
Ethan Winters barely avoiding Richie Catania, who goes to the inside, and he now gets ahead of Toby Estes. Winters moves into the 6th position. Toby Estes now sits in the 7th spot. Matt Seeger trying to keep Chuck Sweeting away from 3rd. Ryan, 15 to go in the season, and metaphorically, literally, the sun is setting not only on the season, the sun is setting on the race, and it goes without saying, I've said this a million times, we can't do this without the fans. So if this is your first lap of TNT or your 10,000th lap of TNT, thank you so much. 3 wide between Matt Seeger, Chucky Sweeting, and Dale Markowski in the Jimmy John's Chevrolet. Pro Sports Hub asking, who's the Ricky Bobby chat? I guess this is the Ricky Bobby chat if you want it to be. So, chat, you've now been renamed Ricky Bobby chat for the last few laps of Season 10. 3rd place is heating up, Ryan. I'm going to stop rambling and tell me about Chuck Sweeting here. Where's the ideal passing place going to be for the 5-7?
You just got to kind of go where Matthew Seeger's not. I mean, that's the key. You can't obviously pass him as he's doing everything he can to get underneath him. But this is huge. I mean, as a driver, look, sometimes we say we don't think about it, but those podium interviews are nice. You know, we like to talk to the broadcast team after the race, and this is what that battle is for third place and a podium interview. So this is some good racing right now.
Sweeting in the 5-7, Seeger, the Georgian driver, in the 16. Chuck Sweeting moves into third. These are the points coming into the final race of the Season 10 Championship. Chuck Sweeting sits 10 points behind Matt Seeger and only 2 markers behind Aaron Edwards, who's currently running in second. As they run, Aaron Edwards will collect the podium prize money if he stays in second ahead of Chuck Sweeting. It is a 4-second gap. We're inside of the final 15 laps of racing. Any late race mistakes could decide everything. Seeger went from 6th to 3rd, and Pro Sports Hub in the chat calls that pulling the shake and bake. It has been an up and down season for Matt Seeger, and what easily could have been 2 or 3 wins this season, it looks like it's going to culminate in another winless season. This is his, I think, Ryan, his 3rd Thursday Night Thunder campaign, and it is glaringly obvious to everybody now that the most deserving non-TNT winner is this guy right here in the 1-6.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's had, like you said, a couple different opportunities to win a race. Last week is probably the freshest in my mind. I mean, he was going to win that race if he didn't get loose coming off of 4, and but that's just how racing goes. Sometimes it's just the luck's just not on your side, and he has just had some really bad luck. But hopefully we'll see him back later this year, and I know he's going to get him a win.
Shotgun Seeger in the GameStop Chevrolet with 1:0 to go on the clock. Sits ahead of Chucky Sweeting in that 5-7. It will be 9 at the line. Jacob Bradley has a hilarious lead over Aaron Edwards in the 2nd position, and I think Ryan, we stopped counting at Bristol how massive that lead would get, just because we're sort of used to that thing. We're used to that sort of thing. We want to keep our eyes on what's close and what's happening now. 8 laps to go. Chucky Sweeting is exploring that inside line more and more. He's got his nose stuck down there, Ryan. This could be the lap for Sweeting, using Briley Wright as a pick.
Yeah, I mean, you use those lap cars, like you said, as a pick. I mean, luckily Seeger got around Briley pretty easily, but I definitely think Chuck is a little bit faster than Seeger, but he's just such a he's a very, very conservative race car driver. He's not going to make any bad moves, so I think this is still going to be a great battle for P3, though, coming to the checkered flag.
Closing Now says, I bet my house on the 50 to win. I don't think you could get odds on Jacob Bradley to win anymore. That's hilarious. Let's take a look here. On board with the 5-7 of Chucky Sweeting, now coming up behind Matt Seeger. 6 laps to go next time by for these two, and they are putting on a show in the final laps of Thursday Night Thunder. Season 10 comes to a close tonight. Fans, don't go anywhere. Once the race is over, we're going to have the trailer for A-Rock 5, and that's going to come in 2 weeks. Kind of our little play on the iRock series, the International Race of Champions. If you're too young to know what I'm talking about, I can't believe I have to say that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the International Race of Champions ran for 30 some odd years. Everybody had the identical car, painted a different color. They ran, 4 races a season? Ryan, I'm rambling about nothing as they make contact here. Anyway, we'll have the trailer after the race. I'm going to shut up, Ryan, because these two are putting on some great fireworks.
Yeah, I feel like we don't even really need to broadcast at this point. I mean, they're putting on a great show here for third, and really about the only battle on track at this point. And again, how far does that 57 push it here? I mean, you can see he's a little bit quicker, but he can't quite make the pass because he doesn't have the momentum coming off the corner, and Seeger's right there. And you got Toby Estes on fresh tires coming. He's about to blow by everybody here.
Toby Estes running in 13th as Matt Seeger kicks sparks into the Atlanta sky. Chucky Sweeting says, fine, I'll do it around the outside. Coming out of turn number 4, John Honeybrink dives to the left-hand side of the 5-7. They come down that front straight with the chrome. Chuck Sweeting to the inside of Matt Seeger, but again, Ryan cannot make that stick.
Yeah, it's just you can't drive off when you're down low. As Seeger, they both got loose there coming off turn 2. So, he's there. He's just got to be able to make the car stick on the bottom, and that's just really hard to do here, especially with old tires.
Chuck Sweeting in the 5-7, Matt Seeger in the 16. They have 3 laps to go. Jacob Bradley has them beat by a half lap, and he will get the 3 miles remaining signal when he crosses the line. It will be Jacob Bradley's 10th win this season, beat only by Noah Belleville, who retired here on lap 78. Our season 10 champion put in a dominant performance, and Jacob Bradley following right up with another dominant performance. And that's what TNT has been. But luckily, Ryan, we have this feast of a battle. Chucky Sweeting looks like he's finally made it stick with 2 to go. Seeger's in the wall.
Yep, and that's all it's going to take there. He's going to have enough speed. He does clear Matthew Seeger for that 3rd position, and you see kind of just pulling away at this point. So tough break for the 16 again.
1 spot away from the podium and desperately trying to hold on to Chuck Sweeting. White flag is in the air for Chuck Sweeting and Matt Seeger. Jacob Bradley will collect his 10th victory this season to put the cherry on the icing on his championship cake. From Mooresville, Indiana, the Thursday Night Thunder champion rounds turn number 4, and he caps off one of the most dominant seasons in TNT history. Winner, champion, dominator. Chuck Sweeting will cross the line in the 3rd position, beating Matt Seeger by 0.7 of a second, and the Floridian. The rookie, Ryan, the rookie Floridian has surpassed all expectations coming into this championship. We've got to give it up to all our rookies. Aaron Edwards, Chuck Sweeting, Ethan Winters, he finished 6th in the race tonight. Larry Eberhard, man, shout out Larry. He has gone well outside his comfort zone to be one of the boys here as well. Matt Vorndren's not on the roster tonight. But so many great names that were a huge part of this season.
Yeah, just a great season overall. And, good job by Chuck Sweeting. He got that not really last lap, but close to the last lap pass for 3rd. And, yeah. Jacob Bradley in victory lane again. What's new?
We'll talk to Jacob Bradley, and we'll get the final interviews of Season 10. Emily talking about how Seeger did so well. Chat, let me know who you thought did so well. We're going to have our A-Rock 5 trailer in just a moment. Give us 30 seconds to collect the podium. We'll play that trailer, and we'll put the final word on Season 10. Don't go anywhere. On the podium now, fans, and welcome back, by the way, on the podium with our top three. Before we get to our top three, let's go ahead and roll this trailer here. A-Rock 5, the ARCS Race of Champions, our 5th V8 Supercar competition, comes to you June 12.
Where's the DVD?
The race is about to begin.
3, 2, 1, go! Oh, that was crazy!
Final round.
The course is in excellent condition. Is your car tuned perfectly? Get ready. About to begin.
The 5th edition of the ARCS Race of Champions coming to you June 12, right here, Rick James TV. That's going to be 2 weeks from now. Let's talk to our race podium and start with our top three from Florida, the Sunshine State, bringing some of that sunshine into the podium. Chucky Sweeting, you end up 3rd. What a season for you, Chuck. Unofficially 3rd in the points as well. Fantastic job. 4th in the points. I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
Chucky. Unofficially 4th.
Yeah, I see us 4th. Thank you, though. It was an awesome season. Really competitive with these guys, and some of the cleanest racing I've done on iRacing in years. So it was awesome.
Hopefully we see you here in late August, Chuck. Is that somewhere we can expect to see you come in a couple of months?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys do an incredible job. Really appreciate all the admins, all the work they do, league owners, you guys here in the booth. Yeah, definitely be back, and I'm looking forward to it. It's you find a good league, clean racing, you got to stick with it. So that's my plan.
Unofficially 4th in the points, bronze medal tonight, Chuck. Congratulations on that. Let's move on to our silver medalist, Ryan. You've got Aaron Edwards.
Yeah, Aaron, you put it on pole and you finished 2nd. Tell us about your race. Obviously, you had a pretty good race, but I want to kind of talk to you about that battle you had with Noah Belleville there for several laps. Was that frustrating for you?
It was, well, first of all, a lot of good takeaways from this race. You know, that's my first pole in TNT, so really proud of that. Boys gave me a really fast car, but after that pit stop and we come out behind Belleville, I kind of just got hung up behind him a little bit. I think I was a little bit quicker, but I used too much of my stuff trying to pass him, and Bradley got away from me, so it was a little frustrating. But hey, you know, that's racing. I don't expect him to let me go. I wouldn't let him go. I don't let anyone go. You better beat me straight up for it. So, you know, I appreciate the respect he showed me. We both, you know, hit each other a couple times, but hey, you know, that's just racing, and we were laughing and having a good time. So I appreciate the respect, and man, I'm looking forward to next season. This was a great race, an amazing track to have our last race of this season at. So really happy with how everything went tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. You trust me. You were we were watching y'all battle, and it was a lot of fun to watch from up here in the booth as well. So, congrats on your season, and you come home 2nd. And kind of what's your game plan for next season in August?
You know, this season really taught me to appreciate that every point matters. If I didn't get in a couple dust ups early in the season at Rockingham and Charlotte, if you know I didn't have mechanical failures at Talladega and Bristol, I'm probably 2nd in points if I'm not right now. If you could tell me, I don't think I'm 2nd in points, even though I tried everything I could to get there. Ah, that sucks. Well, you know, every point matters. So going into next season, we're just going to carry that mindset, do everything we can every week to finish as good as we can, and try to win a championship next year. Got a season under my belt, not a rookie anymore.
There you go. Ricky Stripes come off next season in August. So great season by you. You were definitely always up there in the top three, top five all year. So awesome season and a good job tonight with your second place finish.
Yeah, thanks, and y'all do an amazing job in the booth. Appreciate y'all.
All right, Rick, you got our race winner for the 10th time this season.
Well, JB, there's really nothing else that we can say. You're going to be here for season 11?
I plan on as long as y'all let me back.
I don't know if we're going to let you back, man. I think you're winning too much. I think you've haunted too many of these drivers. I have no idea. We'll see. For now, we got to respect the game. 10 wins in a 16-race season. Now, I think you started 15 of 16 races. If not, you started all 16 races, which is a massive commitment. You're going to go home with the trophy as well. But your race was just phenomenal. Obviously, the strategy is brilliant. And then, with this being your Thursday Night Thunder Championship, you've bought yourself that ticket to the ARC's Race of Champions. And that was a foregone conclusion as well. So in 2 weeks, you need to strap into the V8 Supercars and prove you can do it again.
Yeah, I'm excited to run those. I know they're kind of similar to next gens, and we'll just have to kind of see how it goes and learn on the fly a little bit. This race is really fun. I really messed up in qualifying. Started like ninth. Tried to get to the lead as fast as possible. I think we got there in like 15 laps, and then just set sailed. I always love races like these where all tire management and fuel management comes into play. I usually strive in those, and I think we showed it today.
You showed an incredible amount of skill. You've won the 10th season of Thursday Night Thunder. Just marvelous stuff. And season 11 in late August. It sounds like you're ready to come back already. So it's going to be a long, lonely 3 months without seeing these cars on the racetrack. But when you come back, you're going to have the championship to defend, and you're going to have a new formula to deal with. So now the obvious question, champ. 2 championships in a row?
That's the goal. If you don't go for that goal, then what's the point trying?
It sounds obvious, but it's fun to hear you say, man. Congratulations on an amazing season. Congratulations on the win tonight. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the ARC's Race of Champions.
Thank you.
Mr. Ryan Pinnell, what an incredible season for you. What an incredible season for just a lot of drivers in general. But what a fun hobby we have, where we get to assemble in front of our humble little computers every Thursday night and burn our electric bills to go racing. The cars are not real, but the racing certainly is real. And it's a great thrill to share that with you for 32 weeks every year.
Absolutely, yeah. I've enjoyed every week. Was able to run, obviously, race 2 races this year with Daytona and Talladega. It's my only shots at winning, so I got to give it a shot. But yeah, I think I'm gonna appeal Jacob Bradley's championship, so he's not eligible for A-Rock season 5. I think he should. It's like a transfer rule in the college football. I don't think he should be eligible to race in 2 weeks. Nah, I'm just kidding. Hey, he beat everybody, and it's just been a great season overall. I've enjoyed it. This is, like I said, this is the first year where I've really been, up here with you full time, other than a couple races, and man, I look forward to it. I really do. I look forward to Thursdays where I can come up here and call races with you and watch all these drivers just do their thing out there on track, and it's been a blast. And TNT just puts on such amazing racing. I mean, there's not a lot of leagues out there where you can watch the broadcast back and it's green flag pretty much from start to finish. That's
We
very,
didn't have a
very
single
rare.
caution tonight.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think we had one last week either.
No.
So maybe so 2 races in a row. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So yeah, just an absolute blast. Can't wait for later this year. Obviously, like I said, I'll have a little newborn in the household. So might not be able to be here every single Thursday, but we're gonna see what we can do to come back out here and be up in the booth and call some more amazing races here for TNT.
TNT may be coming to a close for the summer, but Rick James TV is not going anywhere this summer. So, keep in mind, those V8 supercars, Ryan Pennell sitting next to me, Jacob Bradley, who just won the championship, Matt Seeger's going to be in A-Rock, Seth Wansing, 90% of the roster and your favorite drivers that we've mentioned in the chat are going to be in A-Rock, so stay tuned. We've got to say something special about Drip Diecast and Collectibles. I know we're running out of time. Deal with me. They have supported us for 10 seasons, and they will support us as long as as long as I can see. They will be supporting Thursday Night Thunder in some way, shape, or form, and for that we are forever indebted to them. What you can do to keep TNT going, check them out on eBay. They are a fantastic store with all NASCAR memorabilia. They are your #1 online store for diecasts. Period. Drip Diecast and Collectibles. Check them out on eBay. They have been supporting us for 10 years, and if you want a piece of NASCAR history, if you want a diecast that you've never been able to find, check them out. NASCAR Diecasts and more. They are your #1 store. Drip Diecasts and Collectibles on eBay. That is Drip Diecasts and Collectibles on eBay. Check out their catalog. You will not be disappointed. I've had enough to say. I've been talking too much. I'm sure you're sick of hearing me talk, and we're nearing the 90-minute mark, so I need to end this before I get hurt here. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitch. Until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Take care of each other. We will definitely see you all around the corner. That is a wrap on the 10th season of Thursday Night